AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by LouisianaSports.net. Whew, numbers have been good this week over at LSN. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Noah Reisenfeld, who is the agent for Junior Tuihalamaka, he's here in 15 minutes. Attorney Tony Clayton, who is local counsel representing those 33 players in the Louisiana case, including the 16 football players, 3 of whom are trying to join the LSU football team, with an asterisk because there's more than 3. Tony Clayton will be with us in an hour. Ross Jackson in hour 3. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
We are 8 days away from LSU against Clemson in Tiger Stadium. Choo-choo! Lane train pulling out of the station. Sam Leavitt, this $50 million roster unveiled. Dabo, don't worry, no risk of tripping falling down the hill. There's no hill in Tiger Stadium, like at Howard's Rock. And we're talking about TROs. I was asked earlier today, do you think this is a distraction? Maybe. I think that Lane Kiffin actually is very, maybe one of the things he learned most from Nick Saban is how to be insular. Now, Lane Kiffin is very much focusing on the TROs, the injunctions, all that sort of stuff. When Nick was at LSU, a lot of staff members, and I know a lot of people on staff at the time when Nick was here, they called the football staff, they called it the Green Mile, jokingly. Like, once you showed up, you never got to leave. Coach Pete Jenkins, said the reason he retired, he said he ate every meal out of a styrofoam box. Said he was going to die. Like, it was relentless. They never had time off. And I think Lane maps similarly to Saban. When he was on social media, we saw Lane Kiffin posting pictures of the coffee pot at like 4:30 a.m. and leaving football ops at 10:30 at night. It's like, he said it. Most of his waking hours are spent there. He doesn't have a lot of work-life balance. That's what he does. And he expects that of his coaches and his staff. All that to say, if you're wondering if this is a distraction, I don't think it is. Genuinely, I don't. Because I think those people in football ops, if you walk over there, they are so inundated with the day-to-day of what's happening within that football program and getting ready to play Clemson. I don't think they're watching First Take to see what Mad Dog is saying or listening to AFR to see what I'm saying about TROs and all that crap. Lane's worried about it because he's maniacally obsessed with every detail within his program. So I genuinely don't think, for the players and the coaches and the people on the staff, I don't think all this is a distraction to them. Sincerely, I would tell you if I did. I do not think it is. But this is not going away. and I think it's important to note, my day started this morning with my phone ringing from politicians and attorneys and a lot of people involved in all of this, these goings-on. I did have a conversation this morning with attorney Tony Clayton. And by the way, attorney Clayton will be on our show in less than an hour. Tony Clayton, who is local counsel, remember, these 33 players, this is so important to remember. LSU is not suing the NCAA. LSU is not suing the SEC. You have a group of players that have come together that have filed a lawsuit to try to regain their eligibility. And not just in Louisiana. There are 18 cases all over the country, by the way. I'm not sure if you saw, but a judge in Texas granted Texas A&M guard Bryson Warren his TRO for injunctive relief against the NCAA after all this hullabaloo with the SEC. Matt Jones, who covers Kentucky, right? National ESPN radio guy now, Matt and Myron. Matt Jones tweeted just a little bit ago. He said, I hope the Kentucky Mark Mitchell fight the SEC on its transfer rule. The logic of the original decisions, how could he choose to enter the portal when he think he had eligibility, apply to Mitchell too. The issue is no antitrust claim since it's just a conference. Go get him. Like, again, I know how I am perceived. I understand. Like, I live in Baton Rouge. I've spent most of my life here. I went to LSU. I love LSU. I'm also a guy who have pissed off a lot of you over my tenure for not saying things that you think are flattering about the purple and the gold. I will be honest. If you've listened for any or watched for any length of time, you know that about me. I think it is abhorrent that the adults in the room don't fix this. I also can look on a case-by-case basis and look at this situation and agree with what Matt Jones said. The NCAA should have granted a blanket waiver for the class of 2022. They were warned. They knew this would become a big mess. They did nothing, and now it's a big mess. And I think what you're seeing is the university presidents who went and sat in those meetings over 2 days at the SEC and, quote-unquote, voted unanimously to support the SEC's rule to ban these, quote-unquote, former professional players. I've now gone back to their schools, looking at their coaches who are going, what the hell, man? Daquan Wright gave an interview to The Advocate. LSU, South Carolina, Ole Miss, dozens of schools were recruiting him. It's not just football. I just told you about Mark Mitchell, great player from Missouri, had gone to the G League, now trying to come back to Kentucky. I just told you about Bryson Warren, Texas A&M basketball player. We've talked about Cole Hudson, a football player from Texas who went to the Browns, the Cowboys, and now is back in Austin. By the way, that happened almost a month ago, and nobody seemed to care. Point is, Lane Kiffin and LSU, that's a lightning rod. And they're the poster child for this. I get it. It's also not the whole story. And what you're seeing, because a lot of you are asking, like, why are you continuing to pursue this? It's not just LSU. You are seeing, and I was told a lot of the conversations I had today, you are going to see across the country today, attorneys for these student athletes filing amended TROs to include the conferences in their lawsuits against the NCAA to gain these student athletes their eligibility that they feel they're entitled to. So I spoke to Tony Clayton earlier today. He's going to be with us shortly. He told me point blank, it is our position that the SEC and its commissioner, Sankey, it's funny, he had no idea who Greg Sankey was. He said to me several times, like, I don't know who Sankey is. Like, he's just an attorney from Baton Rouge. He don't care about SEC football. He said, it's our position that the SEC and its commissioner, Sankey, are in direct violation of Louisiana law. There's an injunction in place that prohibits the same conduct that they just passed. I mean, how can you create a bylaw that wasn't in existence before this ruling to retroactively overrule this judge? I think Sankey ought to be forced to come down here in Louisiana court and explain to us how he can overrule a Louisiana judge. It's violative of these players' rights. I represent these players, and they cannot come in here and retroactively bring a rule that will punish these kids. Clayton went on to say, we will test it. They believe that they are in the right, and I think there is a really good chance before I'm off air today, you might even see an amended TRO in the Louisiana case. Like today, before I'm off air. I'll ask Attorney Clayton when he's with us in 50 minutes. But an amended TRO to include the SEC. I know where some of you stand. You're getting a little anxious because kickoff's 8 days away. And you're like, is the juice worth the squeeze to piss off the SEC and all this? But what I'm here to tell you is, I think today the LSU contingent, these players, and obviously LSU leadership is supporting the players. Lane Kiffin, Wade Roos, I mean, we know that. They're feeling empowered because they're getting more support today. I just told you, like A&M, Kentucky, I mean, around the country, in Texas and Kentucky and Louisiana, the 18 lawsuits filed, more and more of them are stacking up where the attorneys are filing amendments to include the conferences on top of the NCAA. And the players are probably going to win, y'all. I'm going to go back to the thing I've said from the beginning. You may hate the optics of someone who put on a professional uniform and is coming back to college. And I don't disagree with you. Optically, that's awful. I would also argue that optically, after COVID, when there were guys who were seventh-year seniors, optics were terrible, but you understood it. There was a weird extenuating circumstance with COVID, and everybody got a free year. It's what the NCAA should have done with the class of 2022. They should have given a blanket waiver to this class. It would have been a one-time thing. Everyone would have understood it. It would have been a transfer portal. It would have been a level playing field for everybody, and we would not be in this mess. But the NCAA is poorly run. I think they wanted this chaos. I think they are trying to push Congress to pass the Protect College Sports Act. Chaos in their mind is a good thing, and that's what this has created. So what I would say is, if you're concerned that this is just an LSU thing, it ain't. Literally, I'm telling you, in Texas and Kentucky, just today, you're seeing more these cases that are doing the same thing. So label it Kiffin, LSU, however you want. I genuinely don't think anyone at LSU cares about the perception. I mean, they are going to follow the court order, just like the court order for Diego Pavia was that he could play. He played. The court order for Trinidad Chambliss, he's eligible. Despite many appeals that were denied by the NCAA, a court ruled him eligible. He's playing this year. If a court rules these players eligible, they're going to play. Lane Kiffin said it on McAfee. It's LSU's position. It's Kentucky and Texas A&M and all these other programs. It's their position as well. If the court rules these players eligible, they're going to play. We'll keep you posted. All right, it's after further review. One of those players is Junior Tuihalamaka. His agent, Noah Reisenfeld, is going to join us next. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you want to feel your best, you want Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Yes, they do ED treatments. I get it. Funny name, funny logo, all that stuff. But it's really about feeling your best inside out. I was talking to a buddy of mine who, hard to believe, walking around with testosterone in the 300s. I know that number may not mean a lot to you, but when I was 34 years old, after we'd spent 9 months in the hospital with Drew, stress is an accelerator of the aging process. I tell people all the time, like, think about presidents. You look at a picture of a president when they went into office and when they come out of office, you're like, oh my God, they aged 20 years. Stress accelerates aging. That happened to me in my life. I was 34 years old. I had testosterone in the 200s. I was like a 70-year-old man walking around. But sometimes you don't know how bad you feel until you feel good again. Hormone replacement therapy can get you to healthy levels so you start feeling your best. They also have peptide therapy, so many options so you can live your most optimal life. Schedule that consult today. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
8 days away from kickoff in Tiger Stadium. I think it's a safe assumption that former Notre Dame edge Junior Tuihalamaka will be donning the purple and gold. The guy we'll know is his agent, Noah Reisenfeld from 21 Sports and Entertainment. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Noah, we appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thank you. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks so much for having me.
It's my pleasure, and I sincerely appreciate the time. So let me just start with the very obvious one. Given what the SEC ruled a day ago, is it your assumption that Junior will be eligible to play for LSU a week from Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. So Junior and the university and I, we worked through the details, and he's going to be ready to go, and super excited and fired up for him to join the squad. And I think he's going to make an impact right away.
You know, that's great to hear. I know a lot of people here are excited. By the way, is he physically in Baton Rouge right now?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
He's ready to go, and like I said, I think gonna be able to make an impact right away. You know, I think for him, it was a quick turnaround and a lot of things that needed to happen, and you know, nothing but props to Billy Glasscock and the rest of the LSU sports staff for getting him there in a seamless transition.
Noah, when did you begin representing Junior?
Ironically, you know, we had some communication before, you know, all this stuff went down, and we were able to sync up at a time, you know, necessary, and in order to make sure that this was something we could get done together, and we were able to do that. And so, you know, I think the synergy we were able to create before we announced this decision to go to LSU really made it a amazing, you know, process for us, you know, pretty seamless and hurdle free.
Okay. So no, I only asked just the timeline. So you weren't representing him like throughout his entire time at Notre Dame?
No.
Okay.
We got him, you know, in his later in his career.
Sure. So the only reason I wanted that context is because like this feel, right? Like that waiver from the Colorado judge that I guess opened the door for all of this. It's only been 2.5, 3 weeks maybe. And so that's a really accelerated timeline. Can you just give us some background on Junior, like why he never signed with an NFL team or any of that stuff, just for context?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, you know, obviously everybody goes through a different process when their school and their college careers are over. And I think, you know, given the context of where today's world is, I think there was a lot of, you know, different moving parts that had to, you know, take place for this to happen. And I think, you know, just really speaking on the accelerated timeline, like you said, I think one of the biggest things that we've seen in this space from its inception, I guess, in 2021 to now is, you know, things are changing by the day. And so I think for someone in my position, I think you have to be very prepared to be able to handle kind of the different swaying, you know, whether it's court rulings or transfers. You know, obviously you and I discussed offline, but, you know, representing Darian Mensah in the Miami transfer to Duke, as well as his transfer from Tulane, and Anthony Calandria from UNLV to Nebraska, like all three different scenarios, all three totally different, you know, context behind each one. And it's pretty impressive to see how both sides, when it's the school and the agent or the player, can work very diligently and kind of reactionary to each situation. So I would say, you know, one of the biggest things is, you know, with where he was at in his career and going into this decision, I think a lot of things had to take place and kind of fall in the right place before even knowing why they were falling into place for him. And so, you know, that's why he's, you know, very uniquely someone that out of, I think, all the athletes, I think maybe there's 3 or 4 guys that are still good, and he's one of them.
Noah Reisenfeld is our guest, 21 Sports and Entertainment CEO, co-founder, the agency that represents Junior Tuihalamaka, who, great news, he'll be joining LSU. He's in Baton Rouge. I honestly know, like, I can't even imagine what it's like on a day-to-day trying to manage the college athlete deals. Can you give us some context, some perspective on what it was like dealing with, you mentioned Billy Glasscock, Billy, whatever other LSU staff members that you had dealings with in the Junior situation?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, number one, just, you know, Daniel Moskowitz, our attorney in-house, you know, was essential to making sure that we got all the legal side stuff worked out on our end. And then just, you know, working with my co-founder, Nick Galvin, in back and forth with Billy, Billy was instrumental in making sure that this thing was seamless and on point. And I think, given the fast reactionary both sides had to have, I really think, everybody that played a part in getting this done really deserves a lot of credit, because this is really uncharted territories, like you said.
Yeah. Were there other schools, or how many other schools were interested in junior?
A lot.
I believe it.
A lot of schools that we talked to. I mean, I think it was 13 schools the night before we decided that we had it narrowed down to from the original list. And then by the morning, I mean, I literally slept, I think, 2 hours, and we actually got a documentary coming out in the next few weeks once everything's up and running in terms of the season, that literally covers and something we're going to be doing on our media side that covers the whole thing, the 24-hour, 48-hour span of it all going down. So that'll be pretty cool for LSU fans to kind of look and see the behind the scenes and people all over. But ultimately, I think that we're going to be able to, really understand how we took it from 13 schools overnight to 7 in the morning, and then we had it narrowed down to really 3 at the end, and LSU really just was the perfect situation for a lot of reasons. I'm
going to assume you're not going to be willing to name any other schools. I would love it if you did. But were there other SEC schools?
Absolutely. SEC, ACC, Big Ten, even Big 12s, trickled in there a little bit. But heavy SEC, Big Ten interest, and I don't think there was a team in either conference that didn't at least reach out and inquire.
Interesting. Hey, so the documentary, real quick, when is that going to drop? Where can people find it? Like on the 21 Sports Entertainment Instagram, YouTube, where's that going to be?
Yeah, so we'll have it on our YouTube platform, as well as a private subscription service that will kind of give the full behind-the-scenes look. And we'll have that announced on our Instagram within the next week or so. All
right, make sure you're following their Instagram. 21, the number is 21 Sports and Entertainment is the IG. He's Noah Reisenfeld. You can get him on Instagram as well, CEO, founder of 21 Sports and Entertainment. Why ultimately, you said LSU was, obviously LSU was choice. Why was LSU the choice for junior?
I think, a lot of different situation that we looked into. I think what stuck out about LSU is the momentum that they've built in the offseason. I think Lane Kiffin, just the name speaks for itself as to why you want to go play for a guy like that. And ultimately, just the support around him at the other positions that made it a viable option to go on another national championship run, given the fact that he's played in a national championship and had the chance to compete for 1 year in and year out at Notre Dame. I think, going somewhere of that pedigree was really important to us. And quite honestly, where Lane Kiffin has already brought back, the identity of LSU, the level he's brought it back to, I think right now, I mean, it was just a clear choice as to why, this is the best fit for junior. And in the moment of making a quick decision, it was the most sure thing.
I have just a few more. Number one, is the goal for junior after the season NFL?
Yes, absolutely. God gave him another chance to do this, and we feel real strong about, what he's going to be able to do this year, and basically get a do-over and really walk down the pro day process, the pre-draft process. And we feel very strongly that in this system, in this defense, he's going to have a lot more engagement and a lot more, contribution in terms of the play-by-play basis. And so feel very strongly that, even after talking to some people in the league that were familiar with him at Notre Dame, having the opportunity to go up against 7 top 25 opponents, he's going to have a lot of eyes on him and be in a position to really take that next step and go through the pre-draft process and really rewrite the narrative, which was already good. Just ensure that, there's no stone left unturned when NFL teams start to dig deep.
Everyone associated with Notre Dame I've talked to about juniors has nothing but glowing things to say about him. So I think a lot of people here in Baton Rouge are very excited to have him part of the program. Last thing, I was looking at the 21 Sports and Entertainment Instagram. I was trying to see if there were any other clients you all had that were involved in any of these TROs or any of the lawsuits around the country. So forgive me, I don't know if you have any clients that are involved in there, but as a sports agent who's very much immersed in all this, do you have an opinion on what the conferences collectively all agreed here in the last 24, 48 hours and what that means as we go through these legal battles?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is college sports is changing by the day. I am the number one supporter and advocate for the players first and foremost. I always ensure that, my voice is very clear, that I support whatever is best for the players. And that's my role. But what I'll tell you is, institutions and administrators and those people have a job to do, and what they feel is right and what they feel is necessary to protect the integrity of the sport that we all love, which is college football. I think that they need to take the parameters to do what they feel is necessary. So I think at the end of the day, my job is to react to their decisions and ensure that I'm protecting the athlete in whichever path they can choose forward.
Noah Reisenfeld, founder, CEO of 21 Sports and Entertainment, the agency representing Junior Tuihalamaka, who the great news is he's cleared, he's eligible, he'll be playing for LSU against Clemson a week from Saturday. Man, I know it's a busy time. Can't thank you enough for taking 10 minutes with us here. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate you guys having me. Look forward to meeting you guys here soon down in Baton Rouge.
We'll be here, man. Look us up. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
That's Noah Reisenfeld. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Hancock Whitney Bank. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. If you want to look up the custom URL, that's where you can go learn more about Hancock Whitney Bank. My bank. I've been a Hancock Whitney Bank customer for as long as I've had a checking account, quite literally. They're awesome. They've been amazing to me. My Hancock Whitney branch has moved over the years as I have moved. My current branch is the one right there on Highland near the Country Club of Louisiana. When I walk in, they know me by name, no matter what I may need. If it's a loan product, quite honestly, sometimes it's if you want to go cash a check or deposit a check, and sometimes you go to a bank where they don't know you, and if it's a large amount, they put a hold on that. Well, if they know you, then they're not going to put a 7-day hold on that because they know you, they know it's good. On top of that, you're even talking about great products like their app, which is a financial center where you can budget and you can look at your net worth and all different types of things. It's Hancock Whitney Bank. I mean, look, there's over 200 ATMs across the Gulf South, 180 full-service financial centers. It's Hancock Whitney Bank. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com/Matt, HancockWhitney.com/MATT. Proud to be the official bank of LSU Athletics and the New Orleans Saints. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Really appreciate Noah Reisenfeld for a couple of minutes. That's awesome news as we talk about about Junior Tuihalamaka's eligibility. And, I mean, that's a guy that would seemingly be a plug-and-play option as far as a rotational guy immediately at the edge spot, where, again, you were down two guys. Gabe Relaford's injury in the spring, then you've been without Damian Shanklin. Now, I'll tell you this. I am working to confirm Damian Shanklin's return. And I was told that it was discipline, why he's not been with the team. But Damian Shanklin did post on his Instagram story a day ago a photo of him in the LSU uniform, and the song on the story was YTB Fat, I'm Back. I don't know what that is, but like every other – do you know this song? No?
No, it's just the way you said it.
YTB Fat.
The way you said it, it was very obvious that you had no idea.
How would you say it?
No, like that, but probably exactly how you said it, because I don't know what that is.
I'm a 44-year-old white guy.
And that's the point.
Who's
right?
not Eminem, by the way.
It's one of those things like tell me you're a 44-year-old white guy without telling me. Like that's how it came up. It was funny.
The song is I'm Back. So I sent that screenshot to, I don't know, a half a dozen people in the football program today. Comms people, everybody. And I just keep getting a lot of reactive emojis or I don't know. And I'm like, Lane Kiffin got y'all on lock, right? Nobody's saying nothing. Maybe we need to slide up in Lane's DMs, but he ain't going to see it. I mean, he ain't on social media, right?
True. Yeah, I mean, like you missed your opportunity there. You can blame Knox Kiffin for that.
Damn it, Knox. All right, it's After Further Review. So all that to say, Damian Shanklin could be back. It certainly would seem, based on his Instagram story, he's telling the world that he's back with the football program. If we can get that confirmed, we'll pass it along to you. I'm late. It's AFR. We'll go around the SEC next.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. For our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. Man, they're awesome at River City's 1 Hour Air. They've been in business now for 4 decades. They got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews. This one from Marlon Johnson said, Mr. Jeremiah, the technician, did a great job. Very professional and on time. I appreciate that. Explained everything I need to know to make informed decisions. That last part, I think, is so important Because when a River Cities 1 Hour Air technician comes by your home, when they're done with their evaluation, whatever the case may be, they're going to sit down with you and they're going to show you a full diagnostic and explain to you what's going on and what your options are, a good, better, and best option, and you decide what's best for you, your family, and your budget. It's River Cities 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Better coverage for less money, Insurance Network of Louisiana. Get them online at lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Man, it was so cool. The other day I was walking out of the grocery store. Sometimes I wonder if y'all think I'm lying to you. I swear to you I'm not. This is a real thing that happened to me. And I love whenever you all share with me testimonials when you've had great service from our clients, our partners. And a guy stopped me. Honest to goodness, I was at the grocery store with Drew. And Drew likes to go to the grocery store and look at the meat case. Anyway, whatever. Like oven gold turkey breast. I don't know what, but that's what he loves to do. And the guy's like, hey, I called. He said, Jay Richardson at Insurance Network of Louisiana, and had him shop. They saved him money. And sometimes they save you money. Sometimes you get better coverage. Sometimes with a better, more reputable company that'll pay out. Better coverage for less money. 293-0450.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but the new Fansville commercial is out. And do we like Fansville? Use Paulie?
So I'll be honest, it's not my favorite thing ever.
Oh, why do you hate fun?
It's not that I hate fun. I loved the Larry Culpepper bit so much. That it's just hard for me. I think Fansville's just gotten stale. I mean, what is this, like 9 years now?
The overweight nerd with the flip shades and his Dr. Pepper in a cup without a lid.
It was so good.
It was not good.
He invented the college football playoff, right? You show some respect.
It wasn't good. Larry Culpepper wasn't good. I also love all of the cameos in Fansville. Jerry Jones last year when they're in the Pro Town.
Yeah.
I mean, when the transfer portal and people like flying through the portal. I mean, it's all really good. Paul, you like fun, right?
I do.
See?
I like them.
Paul loves Fansville. Muse.
This one's good.
I'm going to call you Debbie Downer. If you haven't seen the Fansville commercial yet, it features the new LSU football coach. Here it is.
On an illegal Fansville.
Oh, wait, hang on. Wait. Dang it, YouTube! You suck. I'm just kidding, YouTube. I love you, YouTube. But that was not a good one for us. Hang on. All right, Paulie, hit it.
On an illegal Fansville.
Illegal.
Coach,
Sheriff.
do you know why I'm pulling you over?
No.
You made an illegal lane change. As much as I'd like to give you a break, hey, Coach, you can't keep doing this.
College football. It's a Pepper thing.
I mean, that is a beautiful 15 seconds.
No, that one's good. I like that one a lot.
It's Lane Kiffin in the car. You made an illegal lane change. And Kiffin, if you're listening, not watching, Kiffin's rolling up the window as the Boz sheriff is talking to him. You can't keep doing this. I mean, he's going to keep doing it. Like, he'll leave LSU, and I don't know when, but it'll be, it's funny. I tweeted something to the effect of, so Ross Dellinger has a great feature up about how the NCAA not approving the one-time waiver for the 2022 class is affecting student athletes from like all over the country, even in non-revenue sports, field hockey, track and field, all that sort of stuff. Because we're so focused on Lane Kiffin and LSU, it's so vast. And so I quote tweeted and said something to the effect of, it's not just LSU. The NCAA underestimated the reaction, all that sort of stuff. They should have granted a blanket waiver. And so like Tennessee people are just hammering me. Like the Lane apologists are out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not a Lane apologist. If he does well, I'll tell you. If he does something wrong, I'll tell you. And I fully believe Lane Kiffin is not going to spend the rest of his career in Baton Rouge. I think he probably got a good 5 years. And if within 5 years, if Lane wins a national championship and then is off to the NFL, which I think would ultimately be his next destination to go to the place where he failed miserably or gloriously 20 years ago, I think that's probably his path. Now, if he pulls a Saban and spends the next 15 years here and wins 6 titles, awesome. Would love to see it. I think more likely what you'd see is, he's here half a decade, wins an Natty, and goes to the NFL. If that's the reality, awesome. I'm good. I'm here for it. Because I think at LSU, the feeling generally is when you've seen 3 of the last 4 coaches win a national championship, and 2 of them were Les Miles at Ogeron, you feel like you've got the resources to win no matter who's in that spot. So you'll be able to attract the next great one to win again. So I'm not pushing Lane Kiffin out the door. I hope he stays a long time. Trust me, it's good for business. But, the Fansville thing. It's like, why did we start talking about that? Because of Fansville. You can't keep doing this. Yeah, you keep doing it. Hey, we're brought by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Filmed an episode of Alligator Shoes today with my buddy Michael Hackett. Great podcast if you're not familiar. He just talks to people in and around Baton Rouge, influencers, movers, shakers. It's just people telling good stories about Baton Rouge. And we talked about Dr. Blake because Blake Williamson was one of the guests on Alligator Shoes a while back. I'd highly recommend you go watch that episode on YouTube. But the reason is because I learned so much about people that I already knew, like Dr. Blake. But, I mean, his whole journey of going to school at Johns Hopkins and in New York and in London and all these places all over the world to get the best training in the world, but then the desire to come back here to bring that world-class care to Baton Rouge. And it's available to all of you. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. Eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. WilliamsonEye.com. Williamson, EYE.com. Great news. Now, I've learned I don't play fantasy football, but a lot of people have their fantasy drafts right now. Darin Tietgen is coming up in mere minutes to help you with your fantasy draft. That's right. Year 70 bajillion of who to start. The Fantasy Blitz is coming up right around the bend. But right now, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Oh, weird. 2 Arkansas football players have been granted a TRO by a judge. Safeties Caleb Wood and Sean Williams. Judge in Washington County making them eligible for the 2026 season. Weird.
Texas A&M!
A&M football players Tiger Ryden Jr., Chance Sims, they're going to be out for 2026 with injuries. Ryden's a running back. Sims is a defensive tackle. They were both part of the first full recruiting class there for Mike Elko. Sims did not play in 2025 as a true freshman. Ryden was limited due to injuries as well.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Mark Mitchell appears to be eligible after the SEC has clarified their new policy. SEC spokesperson Craig Pinkerton told the Herald Leader that under the new policy, Mitchell, who played in the NBA Summer League, did not sign an Exhibit 10 contract, would be eligible for the upcoming season. Interesting. We'll follow that.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
And Tennessee Hoops Jalen Washington ineligible after Tennessee Court of Appeals order. That's a report from Sam Ehrlich. So as to say, not all state courts are ruling in favor of players. Remember, it was a Knox County court that ruled against Joey Aguilar in football. Now they've done the same for basketball player Jalen Washington. There you have it. That is around the SEC. It is after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Our Fantasy Blitz. Your fantasy draft coming around the bend. Get your questions in for Darin Tietgen at whotostart.net, whotostart.net. Email us, tweet us, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Fantasy Blitz next.
After further review.
GLO. Glow Resources. GlowResources.com. 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 Complete employer solutions. Call Jareth Nakan and all my friends over at Glow Resources. GlowResources.com. Remember, you can always call Glow Resources. Pop by their office. I would highly recommend this as well, especially if you're in Baton Rouge. Their office is on Perkins Road, right near Pennington. It's Perkins and Quail Oak. If you're driving down Perkins, you can't miss it. They've actually sort of like remade that part of Perkins because one of the things Jareth did, which is really cool, they had a city ordinance passed where they went and they had the power cables buried under the ground so they could remove the big power poles. So you actually have this beautiful frontage they're building, which is awesome. Anyway, that's just a random aside. All that to say, if you're a business owner, you need to hire, you're having trouble hiring the right people, Glow Resources can help. The right people make your business more efficient, more profitable. That's what Glow Resources does. GLO. glowresources.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.net.
Who the hell are you?
Whotostart.net. The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the bitten?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz. Powered by whotostart.net.
Who are you?
What? Year 11 bajillion. Kicking off with Darin Tietgen, whotostart.net. Our Fantasy Blitz. Darin texted me last night. It's like, hey, it's fantasy draft time. You want to do a segment? Hell yeah, I do. D, what up, man?
What's up? And just as like a little point of clarification, I just thought about it, and we started this. My daughter wasn't even born yet, and she's going to be driving in like a couple months.
Oh, I've been doing this so long now. Oh, my God. That's awesome, though. All right. Well, congrats on your daughter driving. I'm sure it's going to go great. Not at all worrisome for you and your wife.
Sure. Not at all.
Okay. People are going to be setting their rosters. Let's get to questions. First and foremost, hit the high points. What do people need to know?
Well, I mean, there's the usual suspects in terms of the top end of the draft. I mean, you obviously want to get your running back situated as early as possible, just because they tend to fly off the board. This is a year that you can really, really wait on quarterback. And I do have a few sleepers for you to go through as well. So if you want me to jump into that, I surely could.
Please do. Go.
Let's start out with that quarterback position. Like I said, you could definitely wait on quarterback. You don't have to reach for Josh Allen. You don't have to reach for Lamar Jackson. You could get a guy like Kyler Murray much, much, much later. And with his running ability, with the fact that their run game there in Minnesota is not great, and the fact that he has some good receivers, and of course Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and then a nice tight end in T.J. Hawkinson, I think that the head coach and the offensive coordinator there in Minnesota could really get Kyler Murray going. Let's go to a running back, Kenneth Gainwell from Tampa Bay. He proved that he could be a pretty good PPR back with his time there in Pittsburgh. Now he moves to an offense that really utilized that second running back quite a bit. Bucky Irving was, of course, can still be there, but he's a little bit injury prone, and we've already seen that Kenneth Gainwell can be that second back that catches a ton of balls. So if you're in a PPR league, look for Kenneth Gainwell later in your drafts. And then finally, a wide receiver we really like is Parker Washington from the Jaguars. He's really generating a lot of buzz in camp right now, and really came on at the second end of the season last year. So what we're going to expect out of him is just continuation from that second half surge that he had. Really developed a relationship with Trevor Lawrence there, and we will really like him to have a big year as well.
He is Darin Tietgen, whotostart.net. Any other sleepers worth keeping an eye on anywhere on the field?
Yeah, well, I'll shift over to a tight end. He's not necessarily a sleeper per se, but he is coming off a major injury, and that's Tucker Kraft from the Packers. He's been fully cleared from that ACL surgery that he had. He's looking really good in camp, and he was really Jordan Love's most trusted receiver, even with guys like Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks. I mean, you go down the line, and he had a bunch of receivers, but he seemed to favor Tucker Kraft quite a bit. Now two of those receivers, Dobbs and Wicks, are both gone, so that's going to leave an injury-prone Christian Watson and an up-and-down Jaden Reed as pass catchers out there. So really like what Tucker Kraft is going to be able to do this year.
Let's get some questions if we can. Email us, tweet us, text us. You can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400, or the show text line at 499-1045. Anything you got for Darin here as you head into your fantasy football draft. Here's one from Sean, who said, Amon-Ra St. Brown was the first pick. Derrick Henry was the second. Said, I took Pickens over Devontae Smith third. Smart move or risky?
Absolutely. I think that George Pickens really found himself a home there. I mean, obviously he had some up and down seasons with the Steelers just based off-field kind of stuff and attitude, but it seems like he's got an attitude adjustment there in Dallas. and locked on with Dak Prescott. Obviously, he's going to be fighting for targets with CeeDee Lamb, but I think there's enough to go around there in that Cowboys offense. So Devontae Smith, also a nice play, obviously with A.J. Brown gone, but I still favor Pickens there.
Here's one from Jason, who said 2 QB league with the second pick. He said, do I go running back first or quarterback? What's the strategy? He says it's a 10-team league PPR.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, I'm in one of these leagues. It's called Superflex, where you play, 2 quarterbacks, and I'm assuming that Josh Allen goes first, just because he's Josh Allen. He's the best fantasy quarterback you could get. If somebody passes on him at 1, I would take Josh Allen 2 for sure. Otherwise, Lamar Jackson's going to be there, Drake May, Joe Burrow, even Jalen Hurts. One of those quarterbacks gets you set on the right track for a 2 QB league.
Darin Tietgen, hoot2start.net. I got about 30 seconds left. So next week, are we doing a segment, or are people still doing drafts, or are we waiting until week 1?
I think we could probably wait till week 1. This is like I told you in my text message last night, this is a big, heavy weekend for drafts, just because we've seen a lot, in terms of preseason, and next week is going to be a lot of backups and backups. So might not have as much, not much going on next week, but happy to jump in with you week 1.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks, Darin.
All right.
Who2start.net. Get your personalized fantasy football advice. Who2start.net. Sports Center, Tony Clayton, the attorney for these players. That's coming up right after
further review.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations. Hey, look, summer's just about over. For a lot of us, it's already over. Kids are back to school, but that means tailgating season is upon us. Maybe you're hitting the road for that road game this year. Before you head to Oxford, maybe Knoxville, maybe Auburn, Alabama. If you're hitting the road to watch the Tigers play, make sure your vehicle is in tip-top shape. Shawbills can help you do it. Now, listen, they're going to sell you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price. It's part of their Charlie's Dozen. A dozen benefits extended to you and every vehicle in your family when you buy your tires at Shawbills. Part of that is the price match guarantee. Buy tires at Shawbills. If you find them advertised cheaper somewhere else, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. It's Shawbills. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. It's Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.